Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Fabled Lands. Well, in last week's show, poor old Carrick was left on 1 hit point and with nothing, 1 stamina point, sorry, and with nothing to show for it. Some code words, a title, he belongs to a god of the oceans, and that's about it. The poor fellow really has had a beating. Now, as to the live show, it's still happening. I have seen enough comments that there really isn't a particular time zone that's going to work for everybody. So we are on, mark it in your calendar, 8 o'clock Pacific time next week, the 25th of August, 24th of August your time, 25th my time, 24th of August, 8 p.m. Pacific time. I'll try and put a note up. I'll drop it on Twitter. If you haven't joined us on Twitter, find me on Twitter, How to GM, as well as I'll put it up onto the Facebook group. That's How to Be a Great Game Master on Facebook. I'll put the dates up there as well. And please join me as we try and go live as we do a separate read-through of the Fabled Lands. So that'll run from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock. It'll be a 2-hour session where we try and get through as much as we possibly can of the Fabled Lands, and we'll see if we can do better than dear old Carrick has done thus far. But without any more nonsense from me, let us continue. Now, if you remember, we were going to go to Trefoil to try and hopefully find something or someone of kindness, because we have nothing else. Oh, if there is a tick in the box, turn to that. If not, put a tick there now and read on. Well, I don't know. Is that a good way to start? Maybe. Let me click on the right screen. Sorry. I've set up a new system here, which should allow me to do that a little bit better. There were people who were suggesting of doing it as an editable PDF. I don't know. There's so much information that we're going to have to add in as we go. There we go. A bit messy, but I'll put it there anyway. All right, and I've changed the font of most of the things that I could see were difficult to read on the screen. You are on the cobbled road between Yellowport and Trefoil. It is well kept by the Sakaran military. You spot a man up ahead, striding towards you. Suddenly, 5 or 6 bandits appear from the wayside to assault him. The lone figure executes a series of movements almost faster than the eye can see, and you can see his sword flashing in the sun. Moments later, the bandits are left dying or dead around him. You stop to compliment him on his swordsmanship. The man, a grizzled veteran of many campaigns, regards you with steely grey eyes and says, I have learned much of the arts of war in my time, it's true. Impressed by his skill and demeanour, you venture to ask him to teach you some of these arts. He looks you up and down critically. I'm looking as powerful as I can whilst wearing a shirt and a loincloth. 6, 7. You're not worthy, he says gruffly, and walks on without a backward glance. You sense it would not be wise to press him further. Turn to 412. I didn't think so. You are on the cobbled road between Yellowport and Trefoil. You meet a few merchants and pilgrims, but, all in all, it is an uneventful journey. The city of Trefoil is a terrifying vision of apocalyptic destruction. It had once been a thriving crossroads town, but now it is a burnt-out hulk. It was almost razed to the ground when it declared for the king and tried to hold out against the army of Grieve Marlock during the recent civil war. It was sacked by the general's mercenaries. Grieve Marlock is now trying to rebuild it. Craftsmen are hard at work everywhere. If you have the code word amends and want to visit Oliphant the Wizardly, turn there. Do we have amends? No, we don't have amends. Otherwise, there is nothing here but ashes and rubble. We could take the road to Shadar Tor. If you recall, we do have a quest to go and get a net for the Temple of Elvir and Valmir from Shadar Tor, but we're in no condition to get that. We need money. Take the road to Marlock City. Head into the Cursed Moor. Take the road north, which would take us basically past the Lake of the Sea Dragon and up to Karanbaru. Or take the road to Yellowport. Oh, I don't know. We didn't have any luck at Marlock. Oh, we didn't have any luck in Yellowport. Yellowport was quite the curse for us. So maybe Marlock City. Maybe we'll find something out in the Cursed Moor. I don't want to go to Marlock City and get robbed. Or how miserable would it be to die in a city like a street urchin? No, we did not come here to die as street kids. Street refuse. We came here to make our name. We're going into the Cursed Moor. That's where we're going. At least if we die out there, no one will find us. Oh boy. If there is a tick in the box, turn to this. If not, put a tick there now and read on. 175. Why do I always get nervous when they say put a tick? 175. Okay. All right. You are trekking across the aptly named Cursed Moor. A great rolling expanse of blasted heath stretches before you. Grey clouds hang over a mournful, dirty, water-coloured plain, studded with rocky outcrops and low hills. A raven flutters to the ground nearby, eyeing you curiously. His brown caw loudly... His brother caws loudly into the echoing sky. Dusk falls, and in the dim twilight, a herd of horses comes streaking out of the night, straight at you. As they near, it seems to you that their hooves are not touching the ground, and from their manes trail wispy clouds of sparks, like tiny stars. We could get out of their way, or we could mount one of them. I knew we were going to come right. 66. I knew it. These will lead us to a somewhere, and we'll be fine. You stand your ground. The ghostly horses stream past you on either side, neighing wildly at the sky. Nimbly you leap at one and manage to wrap your arms around its neck and swing onto its back. The horse feels quite solid, but appears to be a luminous pale green colour. You look up through a cloud of sparks emanating from the horse's mane, just in time to see a rocky wall of a low hill looming up out of the evening mist. Your horse is galloping full tilt right into it. We can hold on, or we can leap off. We're in for a penny, in for a pound. Oh, I'm gonna die. The horse and you hit the wall. There is a bright flash, and you find that you have passed straight through into the hill. It must be a fairy mound. The horse you are riding abruptly changes shape into in a puff of smoke. You find yourself on the back of a little knobbly-limbed, white-faced goblin who promptly collapses under your weight. You are in a cavern lit by mouse-sized fairy folk who flit about in the air blazing like fireflies. The other horses have also turned into goblins, elves, and fairies of all shapes and sizes. "What have we here?" whispers a pale, dark-eyed elf woman dressed in silvery cobwebs and wearing a gold crown. "An overweight mortal sitting on poor old Gobrash, your majesty! Oh!" groans the goblin you are sitting on. You realize you are in great danger here. There's no telling what the fairy folk will do to you. The Queen signals to her people, and they close around you ominously. Make a sanctity roll at difficulty 9. Oh me, oh my. 5, 6, 11. Maybe the luck of the fairies is with us. We pass 6 to 6. You recite a devotional prayer to the gods, calling on your faith to aid you. The goblin folk are repelled by your piety and purity of spirit. Even Gobrash finds the strength to get out from under you and run off, such is the effect on them. Snarls the Queen, recoiling. Please, your godfulness is hurtful to us. Here, take this and leave. A jug of fairy mead and an enchanted spear, combat +2, are pushed towards you. Note them on your adventure sheet. Well. Fairy mead. Don't know what that's for. What can we do with fairy mead? And an enchanted spear. Oops. I need a better place to put my book, don't I? Enchanted spear +2. Ha! Look at that. Combat. Our combat is +2. I like that. I like that a lot. I do. The wall behind you shimmers and disappears. You step through back into the cold night air of the cursed moor. You leave the fairy mound far behind and camp for the night. The next day, you resume your travels. Ha ha ha! Well, it's not as bad as at first we thought. No, it's not. Now, we can head north up to the Devil's Peak, if we were so inclined. We could go to Trefoil, but we know that there's nothing there. We could go to Marlock City, or we could head west to the River Grim. Or we could head east to the road. Northeast. That would be the road to Karnbaru. Well, I'm feeling rather brave, as a matter of fact. So, I think we should go north. We'll go and explore north. Let's see what we can find. 560. You are crossing the western wilderness, an expanse of wild, sparsely populated countryside. A few trappers and woodsmen make a living from the natural resources of the area. A tall spire of rock, a towering anomaly of geology, rises up into the clouds, dominating the horizon. A local hunter tells you it is known as Devil's Peak, and that the summit is infested with demons. Climb the peak? No. Head west to the river? Head north to the forest Larun? Go south to the cursed moor, which we've already been to, or travel east to the road which will take us to Karnbaru. Well, we now have fairy mead, which we could sell, and we have this enchanted spear, which I'm not inclined to sell, but which we could if necessary. I am thinking of using it against the Ratman, but with only 1 hit point, 1 stamina point, we need to get actual cash. So let's travel east to the road, go to Karnbaru. It's a trader's town. They've got slavery going on there, if you remember correctly. So let's go and see what we can see there. The forest it's too much nature. Too much nature for me. We got lucky with Sanctity. Let's not go further. Let's not push our luck. 558. You join the much-travelled road that connects Trefoil and Caranbaru. The traffic mostly consists of convoys of troops and supplies. 387. You are on the road between Caranbaru and Trefoil. You come to the weary Pilgrim Tavern, a way station between the cities. The tavern costs you 1 shard a day, and each day you spend here you recover 1 stamina point if injured. Well, unless anyone wants to buy fairy mead. No, I didn't think so. Right, well, we don't have much choice, so we're going to continue north. 347. The road is nearly blocked by wagons and supply convoys. A troop of soldiers forces its way through the throng. The men bang heads indiscriminately to clear people out of the way. Roll a die. 5. 1 or 2 would have been that we got banged on the head and we lost 1 stamina point. That would have been fatal. But on a 5, we're mistaken for a beggar and we receive 10 shards from a passing priest. We're not mistaken for a beggar. We are an actual beggar. A beggar with a very big weapon, I might add, but we're a beggar nonetheless. This is right. We have 10 shards. That means we can go get our stamina back, which means we could go and visit the rat. Oh, but we need the rat poison. Get in there. Get in there. Right. Head north to Caranbaru. Yes, 400. Oh, happy day. Yes, indeed. Oh, happy day. Oh. Caranbaru is a medium-sized town that acts as a way station between the citadel to the north and the rich towns of the south. It is a garrison town. Many supplies, arms and soldiers move through Caranbaru on the north-south trail. Shops, traders, temples and the like have sprung up here to serve the needs of the military. There is also a sizable mining community, for the mines of Saqqara line the Bronze Hills just outside town. Ah, the Bronze Hills, right. And a slave market where poor unfortunates are sold into slavery, are bought from to work in the mines. We could have probably ended up there. You can buy a townhouse in Caranbaru for 200 shards. Nope, we don't have that. We don't have the code word barnacle either. And so we can continue. Now, visit the marketplace, visit the Merchants Guild, Slave Market, any one of the temples, visit the Blue Griffin Tavern. That is our first port of call. 184. I'm not doing anything until I have had a bath and a rest. 184. Right. The Blue Griffin Tavern is frequented by soldiers and mercenaries. The tavern costs you a shard a day, and each day you spend you can recover 1 stamina score. So, we've got to recover 8 stamina. I think it's critical. So, there goes 8 of our gold. But, since we got given it, I don't think that was a bad spend. Besides, a bit of a holiday was quite nice, actually. Yeah. If you have the code word axe, which we don't have, or if you have a black dragon as shield and want to find Yanrit, the sun, turn to there. We don't have any of those. We could spend 3 shards, which we don't have, to get any rumours, otherwise back to 400. Now we are of leisure. Let's go to 215, which is the market, and just see, maybe we could sell that. No, we can't. Caranbaru Market consists of several covered arcades. Much of its stock is for miners and soldiers, and it is run with business-like efficiency by the Saqqaran military. Items with no purchase price listed are not available locally. All right, now hear me out. We could sell that spear for 400 shards. 400 shards. And with it, we could sell that with that 400 shards, we could buy Chainmail of Defense 3 for 200 shards and still have 200 shards left. What do you think? That gives us a defense of 7. I think that's pretty good. And then, no, a normal sword will cost us 50. So we'll have 150 gold left with which to buy rat poison. That is exactly what we are going to do, for we are possessed of a great vengeance. We will undo that which was done to us. We will not go quietly. We will not retreat. We will slay every rat we come across. So we're going to just buy a regular sword for 50. And chain armor for 200, and it's a defense of +3. Look at that. Our defense is now 7. Good luck hitting us. Famous last words, right? And that leaves us with 152 gold. We're going to Yellowport. We have unfinished business. Rat poison is 60 shards here. Was it cheaper here or there? We'll go there anyway because we got to buy a lantern. No, my foolishness! A lantern is 100 shards. Rat poison is 60 here. Maybe it'll be cheaper in Yellowport. Let's hope. Have we been a munchkin? Have I been a munchkin? Maybe. But Carrick is excited. He has a chance to redeem himself. So he is going to take the road south, 347. With all due haste. I'll come back here. It sounds like an interesting town. But I am not interested. I am going south. The road is nearly blocked by wagons and convoys. A troop of soldiers forces its way through the throng. The men are angry and aggressive and push people violently out of the way. Roll a die. 5. I like this die. You actually can't see it. It looks transparent because it's green, actually. But that's a 5. So we get mistaken for a beggar and we receive another 10 shards. I didn't do it. I didn't cheat. That's what I rolled. I rolled a 5. So there we are. We must now be blessed, perhaps. South along the road, 387. You are on the road between Caranbarrow and Trefoil. You come to the weary Pilgrim Tavern, a way station between the cities. We could spend 3 shards buying rumours, but no. Lesson learned. 558. We are focused. 558. You join the much-travelled road that connects Trefoil and Caranbarrow. The traffic mostly consists of convoys of troops and supplies. We want to go east to the river. Northeast, yes, east to the river, 310. Yeah. 310, hang on a moment. Yes, there is a tick box. If there is a tick in the box, turn to 614. The stinking river has cut its way through the high ground here. On the edge of the chasm that overlooks the river below lies the village of High Theris. Just outside of town, 3 bodies hang on a gallows, slowly rotting. Inside, the villagers are having a fete. They welcome you. You can get some rest here and recuperation. Restore up to 5 lost stamina points. Oh, if only we'd known. Oh, well, such is life. Follow the river south, 82. Wonder if those were the ghosts that had been executed. Remember the ghosts? You're following the course of the stinking river, and it certainly does stink, laden with sulphur as it does. Roll a die. Nothing happens. Follow the river south to Yellowport. Yes, page 10. Aha! If you've just arrived, tick the first box. Right, Yellowport, this is our third visit. How many visits? 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the fourth visit is we would then change over. Yellowport is the second largest city in Saqqara. It is mainly a trading town and is known for its exotic goods from distant Ancon Konu. The stinking river brings rich deposits of sulphur from the Lake of the Sea Dragon down to the town, where it is extracted and stored in the large waterfront warehouses run by the Merchants Guild. From here, the mineral is exported all over Harkuna. Unfortunately, all that sulphur has its drawbacks. The stink is abominable, and much of the city has a yellowish hue. The river is so full of sulphur that it is virtually useless as a source of food or drinking water. However, the demand for sulphur, especially from the sorceress guilds, is great. I beg your pardon. Politically, much has changed in the past few years. The old and corrupt king of Saqqara, Corran VII, has been deposed and executed in a military coup. General Grieve Marlock and the army now control Saqqara. The old council of Yellowport has been indefinitely dissolved, and a provost marshal, Marlos Marlock, the general's brother, appointed as a military governor of the town. We could buy a townhouse? No, thank you. We could leave by sea? Nope. We have a specific target in mind, and that is to visit the market, page 30. Rat poison, 60. It costs the same everywhere, I tell you. Rat poison's not cheap. So we're going to spend... Well, we're actually going to buy a lantern as well, so we're going to spend 160 gold. This quest has now cost us 320 gold, plus. This better be worth it. That's all I'm saying. Oops, no, wrong place. Sorry. I'm sure. Well, it'll be worth it for our honor. That's that much I can tell you. Lantern and at poison. Oh, what am I doing? Rat. Poison. Right. Sorted. Okay, let's go. Now, rats, you will fear us. 460. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Am I forgetting anything? I hope not. You climb down an old, disused well in the poor quarter of Yellowport. We don't have the code word acid, and we don't have a copper amulet. If you have, so we don't, it is dank, dark, and smelly down below. If you do not have a light source, such as a lantern or a torch, you will have to return to the city. If you're a mage, you can use sorcery to create light. If you have a light source, read on. I do. You follow a tunnel into the darkness. 164. The dank tunnels, running with rivulets of foul water, take you deeper into the unknown. You mark the twisting passages with chalk so that you can find your way back. You see your old chalk markings from the previous attempt at journeying down here. Shortly you come out into a large, rough-hewn cavern, wreathed in shadows that dance and flicker in the light you have bought. A sound makes you start in surprise. Make a scouting or thievery roll against 11. Yeah. 5. 6 is 11. I love this dice. 11 plus 4. Okay, we succeed. But we know that there's someone coming. We know about the patrols anyway, so I'm not too unhappy about that. 247. The sound was the click of a secret door sliding open in the wall of the cavern. We know about the secret door, we've used it before. With a swift motion, you step up beside it, back to the wall. A figure emerges, but you are able to ambush the ambusher. A deft blow to the back of the head sends the dark figure crashing to the ground. Another steps forth, however, shouting in a guttural voice. You realize the figures are ratmen, man-like creatures that stand on two legs, but which have the tail and the hairy features of a gigantic rat. You have faced these before, and now you are here to finish off the job. You must fight the ratmen. If you have some rat poison, you can apply it to the blade of your weapon and add 3 to your dice rolls for this fight only. If you use the rat poison, cross it off your adventure sheet. I refuse. Their defense is 6, their combat is 3. We will take them on, we will triumph. Our combat's 3, so it's 3 plus 5 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Their defense is 6, so they take 3 damage. He said, frantically looking for a pen, which he didn't anticipate. Usually they just die in one shot, don't they? So he's got 3 stamina left. He strikes back 3 plus 5. I don't like this dice anymore. That's 8. 9, 10 versus my defense of 7. I take 3 damage. Oh, I'm wounded. You hurt me, sir, but I shall dispatch you. Again, 5. I wonder if it's a loaded dice. 5 plus 6. Oh, that's the same combination again. I'm going to have to get a new dice, I think. That's 11 plus my combat of 3 is 14. Dispatched and dead. 4, 2, 3. My wrath knows no limits. This is it. The ratmen lie defeated at your feet. You find 15 shards on the body and a note which says, "Party kitchens tonight. Rank and file rats only. No officers and no king allowed." The rest of the cavern is bare. Let's just do this quickly. After a while, you come to a cleaner area of the sewers, a part of the old city now buried under Yellowport. It dates back from a period when all of Harkuna was ruled by the masked ones of Utaku, before the people overthrew them. You come to 2 rotten doors. Names have been scratched on them by some half-literate ratmen. One says Throne Rum, and the other says Kitchens. You can hear gravelly rat voices from behind both doors. Enter the Kitchens or enter the Throne Rum. Well, we tried the Throne Rum last time. Let's try the Kitchens. 572. You open the door to a large dining hall and kitchen. About 30 ratmen are standing around eating and drinking. Everyone goes quiet as they turn to stare at you with their black beady eyes. I do have an invitation, you stutter, holding up the note. "And we'd love to have you for dinner," snarls one of them. Yelling noisily, they charge towards you. You have little choice but to turn and flee for your life. You race down the sewer tunnels with the ratmen in hot pursuit. Try and lose them in the tunnels, try some magic, or hide. We're going to try magic. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. 296. 296. I can see a repeat happening. I can see a repeat happening. Magic difficulty of 9. 6. 2. That's 8 plus 4 is 12. 4, 9, 8. You dodge down a side tunnel and mutter an enchantment intended to give you the appearance of a ratman. Your pursuers come bundling around the corner. One of them stops to shout at you, "Where'd the human go?" Nonchalantly, you point down the tunnel, and the ratmen go herring off down it, whooping and yelling. You turn and walk the other way, a smile on your furry face. Well, it actually worked. Of course I'm smiling. La-dee-da-dee-da. You wait for things to die down and make your way back to the door marked throne room. Ignoring the kitchens, you go through. 202. We've been here before. Gingerly you open the door. It leads to a curtained alcove through which you observe the room beyond. It is a long, low hall, clearly an ancient Utakin temple, from a time when the masked lords of Utaku ruled all of Harkuna, but now part of the sewers of Yellowport. A cheap wooden chair has been placed on the altar to act as a throne. On it sits a large and extremely ugly rat man. He has a tacky amulet around his neck and a rusty iron hoop for a crown. About 4 ratmen are kneeling before him, engaged in conversation. "But Scab," one of the ratmen is saying. "That's great king Scab to you, dung breath," bellows the rat on the throne. "We could charge in to the attack. We could sneak in to assassinate the king. We could use sorcery to get close to King Scab, or we could bluff our way in. Well, we know bluffing doesn't work. That was our highest skill. So do we sneak, which is probably going to be thievery of 4, or do we try and use magic, which is definitely going to be 4? I think magic. I think magic will work. I hope magic will work. Let's see. Use magic to get close to King's Cap. 24. You will need to subdue the king and his henchmen with a spell. Make a magic roll at difficulty 12. 4. 6 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 6, 4, 4. Using your sorceress powers, you breathe a cloud of greenish vapor over the ratmen. Coughing and gasping, they sink into an enchanted slumber. It is an easy matter to dispatch them while they sleep. Die, king. Die. King Scab's rusty iron crown shattered when he fell, so you take the copper amulet from around his neck. Noted on your adventure sheet. You also find a chest in the corner of the room, but it is clearly booby-trapped. You can open it using magic or your skills as a thief. To pick the lock, make a thievery roll at difficulty 9, or to use sorcery, make a magic roll at difficulty 9. Well, firstly, before we lose impetus here, I think we bought the rat poison for no reason now. But anyway, we didn't know. Copper amulet. Copper amulet. Probably need that to prove that we killed the king. We've pushed our magic. Let's try thievery. We've got to get 10. 4. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11. We needed 9. So we failed. We succeeded. 6. The chest springs open with a click. Inside, you find 60 shards. Can't say that that's been worth it. A mandolin of charisma +1. Well, now we're talking. Sorry. +1. I like that. Not that we've really used our charms, really, if we're honest. And a potion of healing. The potion can be used once to restore 5 stamina points. I won't complain about that. Potion of healing. 5 stamina. Does that make sense to you? Makes sense to me. Right. There is also an ancient religious text about the god of Utaku, called the Scroll of Ebron, which reveals that one of the gods of the Utakin is called Ebron, and that he has 14 angles. He has 14 angles. Well, we'll take the Scroll of Ebron. I mean, it could be worth something. You never know. You never know. Note whatever you're taking on your adventure sheet and then turn to page 10. Right, so we are successful. Now, who gave us that quest? That was the Merchants Guild who gave us that quest, I think. So 405. Oh, happy day. Oh, happiness. Oh, yes, we are great. Was it the Guildmaster? 122. Oh, sorry. The Merchants Guild of Yellowport is a large building of granite, plushly decorated inside to show off its wealth. Here you can bank your money for safekeeping, or invest it in guild enterprises in the hope of making a profit. You hear that the Guildmaster is looking for adventurers. Well, not anymore, for I have adventured, and I have solved your quest. Eventually. 122... If you have the code word acid, turn immediately. If not, but you have a copper amulet, haha, turn to 384. Guildmaster Vernon is pleased to see you. You hand him the copper amulet, and he exclaims joyfully, "Oh, the amulet of King Scab! Well done indeed!" Cross off the copper amulet. Well, we didn't really want it, did we? Nah. You are given 450 shards as reward. Now, I don't know if that is worth it. You can do the maths at home and let me know. But I think it was. We have proved that sorcery is our greatest asset and that we are mighty ratmen hunters. We are. Now the world is our oyster. 450 shards. Do we want to buy a house and leave some cash here? I feel like that should be a thing, but I'm not sure. Do you want to buy a ship? Could buy a ship. Take a ship and head off, seeking grand naval adventure. Oh, we are only rank 1. Of course, there's always the cold, bleak mountains and Karen Barnu to explore, as well as the Devil's Peak. I know there's a devil at the top of it, but They could be interesting. And we've still got the Forest of Lauren to explore, and the Bronze Hills, and we've got to go fishing with the Lake of the Sea Dragon, as well as we've got to go back to Venefax. There's all sorts of nonsense going on down there, if you remember. So there's that. And of course, we've got to go north to the Great Steps, try and cash in that reward from that prince so many of you suggested. Well, as with all things, it's up to you to decide. Where are we going? Are we going to become pirate captains? Are we going to sail the seven seas and trade and make our fortunes that way? Are we going to perhaps head into the Forest of Larun? Or should we go to the Lake of the Sea Dragon? Perhaps Karan Banu calls. Or maybe we want to go all the way to the Great Steps and explore that expanse. Either way, you decide. You let me know in the comments below as to where you want to go. For now, our adventure ends. And I have to say, I'm rather pleased that an adventure ends on a high note, with at least Carrick having learned a good lesson, picked up some pretty nice swag, and is now in a position to make all these choices. Don't forget that live show that will be happening on the 24th at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Wherever you are, please join us for a 2-hour session. That will be a separate reading. It won't be the continuation of Carrick's story. It will be a new story that we'll do just for that. It will be live and it'll go from 8 until 10 p.m. And of course, we will record that, don't worry, and it will be put up on the channel as a separate read-through. The adventures of Carrick Valast will continue as usual next week and into the very far future. So let me know, where do you want to go? Are we going to go to the Lake of the Sea Dragon? Are we going to go to the forests? Or are we going to go sailing out into the wide blue sea? Maybe we should go to Shadar Tor and try and get that golden net back, now that we have our health and finances with which to do so. Let me know. Anyway, until next time, safe journeys in Fabled Lands.